On behalf of Jane Fitzcostellia, we have some significant announcements to make. It is with profound sorrow that we communicate the stepping down of Dee Bell from her vice president role at Jane Fitzcostellia and Dee Bell Company. Fear not, for Dee Bell won't be leaving us. She is just transitioning to a new role as agents manager within the company. As we bid farewell to her old role, we also welcome Ms. Bell Pum, who's been the current stand-in for vice president and the head of vomiting directors, to fill in Dee Bell's shoes. Grandpoof will succeed Miss Bell Pum's previous role, and on a lighter note, could Pole the male polar bear please visit the loo? As one chapter ends, another begins. Our company will rebrand as Jane Fitzcostellia and Friends. On to our second announcement. We have a surprise for you. For the bank holiday tomorrow, an additional video, a delightful green St. Patrick's Day special, will be produced by the newly rebranded Jane and Friends. Our remarkable substitute David Attenborough will take over the narration tomorrow from the usual narrator Amelia. Just to remind you, Amelia delivers the narration every Saturday and every second Sunday, while Grandpoof covers every alternate Sunday and bank holiday Monday. Lastly, we have an important update for you. Jane Fitzcostellia and Friends will be going on a brief hiatus, commencing Tuesday the 18th of March and concluding Friday the 16th of May. During this hiatus, we'll continue providing daily videos except for Thursdays, but on the 16th of May, we will resume our regular video uploads. We can't wait to see you then, and we appreciate your understanding and continued support through these changes. Here's to the exciting journey ahead with Jane Fitzcostellia and Friends. Before we dive into the world of Ms. Bell Pum and her family, let's whisk ourselves to a different realm, one filled with tantalizing aromas and delightful tastes. Yes, you guessed it right. We're taking a brief detour to the world of culinary delights. Today we're going to share a recipe that's a real crowd pleaser. Cheesy, salt-crusted, twice-baked potatoes. Now imagine biting into a crunchy, salty crust to find a fluffy, cheesy interior. Sounds heavenly, doesn't it? This dish is a perfect blend of textures and flavors that will make your taste buds dance. Let's get started. First, let's go through the ingredients. You'll need some large baking potatoes, a good amount of kosher salt, olive oil, a generous amount of cheddar cheese, some sour cream, and a sprinkling of chopped fresh chives for garnish. Now for the preparation. Start by baking the potatoes in a salt crust. Once baked, slice them in half, scoop out the insides, and mix with the cheese and sour cream. Then fill the potato shells with this creamy, cheesy mixture and bake again until golden and crispy. Now here's a tip. If you want to add a bit more flavour, feel free to mix in some crispy bacon bits or green onions into the filling. And if you're a fan of spice, a dash of hot sauce wouldn't go amiss. Remember, cooking is all about putting your own spin on things. That's all we have for this mouth-watering recipe. We hope you give it a try and share your results with us. Now, let's get back to our regular programming and meet the new Vice President, Ms. Bell Pum, and her fascinating family. Now, let's shift our focus to Ms. Bell Pum. A woman of stature and wit, Ms. Bell Pum steps into the Vice President role with grace and a touch of pizzazz. Ms. Bell Pum, well known for her keen eye for detail and creative problem-solving skills, has proven her worth in her previous role as the head of vomiting directors. Let's delve further into Ms. Bell Pum's family, starting with her sister, Hauve. Hauve, as whimsical as a cotton candy cloud, is a round, candy floss creature, much like her sister, Ms. Bell Pum. Mother to 3 unique children, Hauve adds a dash of charm to this fascinating family. First, let's meet Pole, the male polar bear. A figure as sturdy and strong as Pole adds a certain solidity to this family. Next, we have Nuddles, the youngest of the trio. Despite her tender age, Nuddles, the female golden bear, is filled with wisdom that belies her years. And in the middle, we have the delightful Zoe. This candy floss creature, round like her mother Hauve and her aunt Miss Bell Pum, sports short yellow hair and pigtails, adding a dash of charm to her persona. But every tale has a villain, and in the story of Miss Bell Pum and her family, it's Horse Magorse. To us, at Jane Fitzcostellia and Friends, the creators of this video, Horse Magorse is a villain, always trying to portray Bell Pum and her family as mischievous and outrageous. Here's a delightful anecdote about Miss Bell Pum. Once, a man found himself stuck to a wall. Despite everyone's best efforts to free him, it was Miss Bell Pum who came up with an unconventional solution. She instructed a boy to vomit down the wall to break him free. Yes, you heard it right. The man was freed but covered in vomit, a day he'll never forget. That's all about Ms. Bell Pum and her fascinating family. They're full of quirks and charm, and we, at Jane Fitzcostellia and Friends are excited to see what Ms. Belle Pum brings to her new role as Vice President. Let's conclude this tale by painting a more comprehensive picture of Ms. Belle Pum. The remarkable hostess of a peculiarly disastrous dinner party, she was known for her unconventional space utilization. Her laboratory was the bathroom, doubling as her workspace with the toilet seat acting as her desk. And her kitchen, well, that was the practical room where all her culinary magic happened. Her dishes were always lush and sumptuous, but on this particular day, a tiny error in preparation led to a massive catastrophe. Imagine, in her acclaimed chocolate cake, she unknowingly included diarrhea instead of chocolate sauce. The horror doesn't end there. A pregnant woman who recently experienced a miscarriage unknowingly contaminated the cake with traces of her period. A macabre ingredient indeed that resulted in the cake hiding her lost unborn. One woman, unable to hold back, started vomiting across the room. Another man was so overwhelmed that he vomited onto a woman's face, which caused her to vomit into her son's ear. This poor boy, in turn, lost his hearing forever. A guest who sampled the cake found himself with diarrhea, and in a bizarre series of events, stumbled and fell, landing his soiled rear in his newborn's mouth. The baby couldn't contain the shock and disgust, and began to heave as well. A pregnant lady who consumed the cake gave birth to a baby with vomit-like genetic features, evident in their hair and skin colour. Just when everyone thought the situation couldn't get any stranger, in walked Horse McGorse. Known to be Miss Belle Pum's arch-enemy and the resident goody two-shoes, his arrival added an unexpected twist to the chaos. He even ended up farting into a man's mouth, inflating him like a balloon. This incident at Miss Belle Pum's place was indeed a peculiar one, a testament to life's unpredictability and the lasting impact of even the smallest mistakes. In the voiceover, Nuddles speaks, sounding both shocked and a little amused. "It was a peculiar incident, folks. Imagine having dinner at a place where the host uses the bathroom as her laboratory, and the toilet seat, well, that's her desk. The kitchen, the place where all the yum-yums are made, was the stage for a comedy of errors that evening." Miss Belle Pum, our host, known for her scrumptious dishes, made a tiny boo-boo that day. A chocolate cake that was, let's just say, not very chocolatey. Instead, it had a different kind of, gooey brown stuff, if you know what I mean. And as if that wasn't enough, a lady who had recently had a baby angel go to heaven sprinkled some of her special red sauce into the cake unbeknownst to anyone. Chaos ensued as one lady started a vomit fest, splattering across the room. A man, overwhelmed, barfed onto a woman's face, causing her to hurl into her son's ear. Poor lad, he won't be hearing any bedtime stories anymore. Then another man, after tasting the special cake, had a poo-poo accident and ended up falling bum first into his newborn's mouth. The little one, poor thing, couldn't help but retch. Another lady who had a tiny bun in the oven consumed the cake and, voila, her baby ended up with vomit-like features, evident in their hair and skin colour. And just when you thought it couldn't get any weirder, in walked Horse McGorse. Miss Belle Pum's arch-enemy, the resident good guy, added a twist to the tale. He managed to release a windy into a man's mouth, puffing him up like a balloon. So there you have it, folks. A word of advice: always double-check your ingredients before baking a cake. You never know what might end up in it.